When you hear the term heart failure, what comes to mind? You probably picture a heart that's just stopped, right? Well, the reality is actually way more complex. Today, we're going to break down what heart failure really is, how the body's most important pump can start to fail, and the incredible ways modern medicine can help you manage it. Let's start right here because this quote really gets to the heart of it. Weak heart. We've all heard that phrase, but honestly, it massively undersells what's actually happening. Heart failure isn't just a problem inside the heart. It's a complete medical syndrome. Think of it like a chain reaction that affects your entire body. If you can grasp that one idea, everything else we talk about is going to make so much more sense. So here's the official definition, and the most important part is what it doesn't mean. Heart failure is not a sudden event where your heart stops working. It just means the pump has lost some of its power, its efficiency. And that word progressive is key. This decline happens gradually, often over many, many years, which is exactly why catching the signs early is so incredibly important. Okay, so let's dig into that. What is the reality behind this weak heart misconception? To really get it, we need to think about the heart in a really simple way. I want you to just picture your heart as this perfectly engineered pump. With every single beat, it pushes oxygen-rich blood out to every single part of your body. But when that pump starts to weaken, a two-part problem kicks off. First, the forward flow gets reduced. Your organs don't get enough oxygen, which is why you feel so tired. Second, you get backup pressure. It's like a traffic jam on the highway. Blood starts to dam up, causing fluid to leak out into places it shouldn't be, like your lungs and your legs. That fluid, that's the real source of so many of the classic symptoms. So we know the pump is failing, but how exactly is it failing? Well, it turns out there isn't just one way a pump can break. There are two main mechanical problems that doctors are looking for. On one side, we have systolic failure. You can think of this as a weak pumping problem. The heart muscle itself has gotten weak, and it just can't squeeze hard enough to push blood out effectively. On the other side, you have diastolic failure. This is a stiff muscle problem. Here, the muscle can't relax properly, so the chambers don't fill up with enough blood in the first place. Now, what's so wild is that even though these are two totally different mechanical issues, for the person experiencing them, the symptoms can feel exactly the same. So what causes this kind of damage to the heart muscle? Well, by far, the most common trigger is a heart attack, which can leave part of the heart muscle scarred and unable to pump. Right behind that is long-term high blood pressure. I mean, think about it. It forces your heart to work way too hard for way too long. But as you can see, a whole bunch of other things can play a role too, from faulty heart valves and viral infections to even things like excessive alcohol use. Now, a failing pump doesn't happen in silence. Your body is incredibly smart, and it sends out very clear warning signals when something is wrong. The trick is knowing what to listen for. And really, paying attention to these signals is one of the most important things you can possibly do. So let's ask that question. What are the key warnings your body might be giving you? The number one symptom is shortness of breath, especially when you're active or when you try to lie flat in bed. Remember that fluid we talked about backing up? It can literally start to fill the lungs, making it hard to breathe. Other major signs are things like swelling in the legs, a feeling of heaviness in the chest, and just this constant nagging fatigue because your body isn't getting the oxygen it desperately needs. And this right here, this is one of the most specific telltale signs that doctors always look for. If you find you just can't sleep lying flat, if you have to prop your head up with 2 or even 3 pillows just so you can breathe, that is a classic red flag. It's a sign that as soon as you lie down, gravity is letting fluid pool in your lungs. Okay, so your body is sending the signals. You've recognized there's a problem. The next crucial step is getting a clear diagnosis, which then opens the door to a really modern and effective treatment plan. Doctors have a whole toolkit for diagnosis. They'll often start with an ECG to check the heart's electrical rhythm and a chest X-ray to look for fluid in the lungs. A key blood test called a BNP can measure a hormone the heart releases when it's under stress. But really, the definitive test is the echocardiogram. It's an ultrasound that gives doctors a direct video of your heart, so they can see exactly how well it's pumping. That echocardiogram gives doctors one number that tells a huge story, the ejection fraction, or EF. It's simply the percentage of blood that's squeezed out of the heart with each beat. A healthy heart pumps out well over 50%. When that number falls below 40%, it's a clear sign of systolic heart failure, that weak pump problem we were just talking about. And you know what? This is where the story gets really hopeful. Treatment today is built on 4 pillars of medication. It's a real team effort. One drug relaxes your blood vessels, another one slows the heart to let it rest, a third blocks stress hormones, and that fourth pillar, the SGLT2 inhibitors, wow, it's a true game changer. These were originally developed for diabetes, but they were found to have these profound protective effects on the heart, making them a new gold standard for almost every single patient. So while medication is the foundation, the real key to long-term management is all about lifestyle. This is where the patient really takes control. If there is one golden rule for managing heart failure, this is it right here. You have to restrict your salt. Why? Because salt acts like a sponge for water in your body. More salt means more fluid, which means way more work for your already struggling heart. The target is strict and it's non-negotiable, less than 2 grams of sodium a day. And this one goes hand in hand with salt. Every single morning, patients need to step on a scale. A sudden jump in weight isn't fat, it's fluid. Gaining more than 2 pounds overnight is a critical warning sign that fluid is building up, and it means you need to call your doctor right away. It's your body's own early warning system. So when you put it all together, the management plan is actually clear, and it's very actionable. It's about controlling salt and fluids, checking your weight every single day, staying active with gentle exercise like walking, and of course, quitting smoking and managing your stress. These steps empower the patient to be an active partner in their own care. So here's the most important takeaway from all of this. A diagnosis of heart failure is serious, absolutely, but it is also a turning point. It's a start of a new way of living. And with the right combination of modern medicine and your personal commitment, it is a highly controllable chronic condition. Getting help early makes all the difference in the world. I want to leave you with this powerful thought, because it just perfectly sums up the modern approach to this condition. A weak heart doesn't have to mean a weak life. With the right tools and the right mindset, people can, and they do, continue to live full, active, and meaningful lives. So we'll end by turning the question to you. Whether you're managing a condition or you're working to prevent one, your heart's health is directly impacted by the choices you make every single day. The power to protect that vital pump is, in large part, in your hands. Thanks for joining us.